What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you one of the most annoying, toughest schemes in Madden 20, specifically for running the ball, but also can be very good for passing the ball as well. So this is something you're definitely going to want to pay attention to the whole video, because there's some little tweaks I'm going to throw in to the middle and the end that you really need to pay attention to, but this can really help you move the ball really easily in Madden 20. So if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to stay up to date on the latest Madden tips and news all year long, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you join the notification squad. So what we want to look at today is the single back ace double wing, formerly known as the single back jumbo heavy. For the past few years, this has only been in the run balance playbook, but this year it has finally come to the Panthers playbook, and the Panthers have quite a good playbook. Now, the great thing about this jumbo formation is it's a jumbo formation that has great runs, but also really good passing plays. But what else is good about this, which is I touched on a little bit later in the video, is you can audible into gun heavy Panther with this, which now also has passing plays. This formation has not had passing plays for a few years now. Now it has passing plays again, so you can audible into that. You could also audible into goal line from this formation. So I'm going to show you just some really cool things you can do with this out of the Panthers playbook. Now notice I actually have Christian McCaffrey out here as one of my, technically these are all kind of supposed to be like tight ends or fullbacks, but I was able to get McCaffrey here because I actually put him at fullback on the depth chart. The reason being is because typically you don't want to have 4 tight ends out there because it's just hard to have 4 good tight ends. No team has 4 good tight ends. Most teams don't even have 2 good tight ends. So something like this is a little bit better in Ultimate Team where you can get like 4 really good tight ends. But in the regular game, there are a few teams you can run this with. But I put McCaffrey at fullback so that I could get him actually lined up as one of my receivers, because you know McCaffrey is actually, for a running back, is a good receiver. And then the running back in the backfield doesn't matter so much as long as he's just got some decent speed. So for years past, the reason this formation was so good is because it was actually a really good passing formation. But this year, I honestly feel like it's a better running formation than it is a passing formation. That's because the run is just so good this year. So what I want to touch on first is like the stretch and the dive out of this formation. But what makes it so tough is that you can't sell out to stop the run because the passes are good. And you can audible into other things. So another good thing is the formation's symmetrical, so I can flip the formation without my opponent knowing by hitting the X or square button and then the RT, R2 button, depending on your system. And you can see it's going to flip the run to either side, but we're not actually, like, nobody's moving. There's no tell that we're changing anything. So typically what I would do is I want to run to the side that has the least defenders. Now right here, they're kind of giving us a look that's kind of stacked across the board, so it might not be the best decision to run on this, but we're just going to take it anyway because I have faith in the blocking, and of course we only got a yard. But they presented us with a good defense there. Typically I would have audibled into a pass there, but I'm kind of trying to show you just the run out of this first because the run is so good. Like, you could take this to the outside, and I mean, you can get crazy yardage with this. Like I said, this formation's been a good passing formation for years, and it's been a solid run formation, but because the run game is so much better this year, like this formation is tough to stop when you're running the ball. So right here, I would audible to a dive because they're just leaving the middle wide open, and I just want to take this up the middle. The defensive tackle got a really good block shit there. Still got 5 yards, so we're good with that all day, every day. Here, again, they're kind of presenting us with, like, you know, they got a lot of guys up there. So like what I would probably do typically in this is I would audible to one of the passing plays, right? So you've got this passing play that has the 2 corner routes from the inside guys, which is really good. So you can kind of like go ahead and take the X and B guy and kind of put them on flat routes, and then you have the Y and A inside tight ends that are on corner routes. And a lot of times you're going to get these guys open like to the sideline like that for easy yardage. Just pass lead them to the sideline, very easy. So they can't sell out to stop the run because you can do things like that. Again, here I would audible to the dive, take it up the middle. I mean, we can just gash it. And this isn't a good running back. This running back's like 67 overall. I believe he's a rookie, but he's like decent speed, 90 speed, so that's why I put him in there. Here I would take the stretch to the right because there's less defenders on the right than there are the left. And I mean, like, you could just see the blocking. Like, you can gash defenses for this. Like, right there, that was an easy 5-yard gain that probably should have went for more, but they shed the blocks. But we still were able to get an easy 5 yards. Here I'm going to flip it, take it left. Let the block set up. I mean, we got Christian McCaffrey out there blocking for us, and he's doing fine. Another 7-8 yards. This stretch run right here, one of the best runs in the game. I mean, it's just, the blocks are just going to set up so nicely. You could take it to the outside. That's why I said really you just want a speedy guy here, because you just want to be able to get to the outside with this. Sometimes you're going to cut it back up if, you know, if the hole's there so you can gash it. But a lot of times you just take it to the outside, and I mean, super annoying to stop. If you only had to worry about just the stretch and the dive, it would still be kind of annoying to stop, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But then when you mix in the fact that you could pass really well out of this, and you can audible up to other formations and pass, like, man, it's a problem. So those are the two main runs you really want to do out of this, is just stretch, dive. Very simple, really effective this year. Now, I'm not going to go like super in depth on the pass plays. You saw how I ran the play, the tight end corners, just putting those outside guys on flats, and just you either go flat or you go corner route based on what you're seeing. Corner routes will usually be open. I'm going to break down some of these pass plays more in depth for a members video soon, so if you do want to join the membership, I do extra exclusive videos, tips, and breakdowns. I'm going to break down the pass plays a little more in depth in there, but one play I do want to point out is the PA Counter Waggle, which is always my favorite passing play out of this formation. So I just want to kind of show it versus some coverages. So like cover 2, for example, it's a really good cover 2 beater. So you have the B tight end on the outside who's on that like squiggly little corner route. He is going to shred cover 2 defense. So I'll take the A tight end, put him on a streak. I'll block the running back RB. And then we leave everything else alone. We have Y that's kind of on that drag route. And then we have the X tight end, which is McCaffrey, because we have him subbed in. He's on that little post over the middle. So if we're seeing like cover 2, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the B go up the field, and then you kind of just pass lead this up, and it's just easy money. Like if you're within like 30 or 40 yards, it's literally a touchdown against cover 2. Now, you know, if they were to go user that or something of that nature, then typically I'm dumping it down to the little drag to the Y tight end, because he's going to get underneath everything too. And you see we picked up an easy 6 to 7 yards there every time. And then same thing if you go cover 3. You know, typically I'm looking for the Y tight end on the drag first. If it's there, I just take it because it's just super easy. Like Y pass it up. If it's there, it's easy yards. And he's getting like really weird catch animations there, and we're still getting 6 yards. Really, he should be making like good run after the catch there, but sometimes Madden just kind of cheats you on the animations. You know, if they shade their defense down, you know, then that opens up some of the deeper stuff, of course, you know, the post route, things like that. So I don't really pass a whole lot out of this if I run this year. Like I said, in years past I would, but because the run is so good, I'm just going to pound you with the run, and I'm going to pass when I need to pass out of this. But this is where it gets good, because now you can audible into gun heavy Panther, and the two main plays are going to be tight end spot and QB blast. The QB blast right now is kind of running wild, kind of glitchy. It's actually really tough to stop. There are ways to stop it. I'll show you a quick way to stop it in a second, because it is kind of running wild right now. But this is, especially if you have those type of quarterbacks like Cam Newton specifically, or Lamar Jackson, who have the fast break ability, gives them better kind of like control and an agility boost on QB runs. This run is very hard to stop in the backfield if you don't know what you're doing. Extremely hard, because you can just snap the ball and you just go. Like, you just go, and your worst case, I mean, you might get 2-3 yards worst case, but a lot of times you will break this for touchdowns. And you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but even in the tournament scene right now, this is really kind of running wild, because people just aren't used to seeing it. And a lot of people online that you play won't be used to seeing this, and you can really get crazy with it. I would recommend putting your ball carrier on conservative in game, just so that your QB has less of a chance of fumbling when you audible up to do this. But like I said, I'm going to show you a way to stop this at the end of the video, because this is kind of really, it's a little overpowered, so I don't want people to think like, oh, I'm just showing you how to do something, but I'm not showing you how to stop it. But, I mean, you could see, very easy yards. You want to make sure to cover the ball with your quarterback when you get near defenders, or slide, but definitely have your ball carrier on conservative. That'll help you, you know, reduce fumbles. Then you got the tight end spot, which is similar to the corner play that we looked at in the jumbo heavy. Same thing, you kind of want those flat routes on the outside. So you see the X receiver's already on a flat. The Y tight end's on one of those really good corner routes. The A tight end is on another good corner route, not as good as the Y one. The Y corner route is definitely better. And then you want to take the B receiver and put him on a flat as well, and then block your running back RB. So you audible up to this, and pretty much against any coverage, like, you're going to have, you know, either the flats or the corners open. Like right there, that was just a bad read by me. I should have checked it down to the flats. I mean, I tried to fit the corner in there, but I shouldn't have did that. I should have, you know, instead checked it down, because it was a cover 2 we were going against. But, so I'll show you here what I mean. So, like, kind of wait for them to back up, check it down to the flats, and you go up the field with it, and you get 4 or 5 yards. But when they're running pretty much anything else, like a cover 3, a cover 4, if they're running man defense, those corner routes with this are going to just eat all day long. So, you'll see here, same thing. You just want the double flats, double corners. And, I mean, they just eat all day long to the sideline. And it's not the toughest play in the world, but when you mix it in with the QB blast, and then they have to come out thinking the under center stretch, the under center dive, it is just an absolute pain to have to worry about all this at one time. It's probably one of the easiest offenses to run if you're playing the average person that doesn't really know how to stop it. Here is a man defense. So, you know, again, man defense. You got Y, you got A. They're going to break. Now, right there, I mean, that was just one of those cases that I really hate in Madden when the defenders just warp to the ball. And there's simply nothing you can do about that when the defenders warp to the ball. I didn't mean to do this here. Let me get to the tight end spot. So yeah, when the defenders warp to the ball, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just considered terrible luck in Madden terms, but it's going to happen sometimes. But typically, I mean, like I said, he's warping to the ball, but usually, I mean, you're going to leave them in their dust when they go man. But most people aren't going to go man against a run-heavy scheme. They're going to try to go like cover 4 or something of that nature. And then what else is good, like I said, you can audible to goal line. So you could put like QB sneak in your audibles. So if you get in a situation where you're like second in inches, third in inches, they're not coming out in QB sneak defense. Like, you have to come out in very specific things to stop the QB sneak, and they're not going to come out in that if you're in jumbo heavy and panther heavy. They're going to be coming out in different types of formations. So if you get in an inches situation, you can then just quickly audible to the QB sneak, and they're not going to be equipped to stop it. And all you're looking for is that half a yard to a yard diving up the middle, and that's just something they can't be prepared to really stop all that at one time. And that's what makes this scheme really tough. But for the majority of the scheme, if I was running it, I'm staying under center and jumbo heavy. I'm trying to pound the ball and mix in those passes, but I will go up to panther heavy to kind of run those, you know, the QB blast and the tight end spot play here and there just to keep them honest, and then only go to goal line in like an inches situation. Now, I want to show you how to contain the panther heavy QB blast right here, because it is a pain, and this is not something, you know, that I would want to put out there without showing you a way to contain it. So 3-4 bear is what a lot of people are running to contain this now, that they've kind of, you know, figured out that this is a problem. They go to 3-4 bear, pinch bucko. Basically, I mean, you just want to like base align, which is wire triangle right on the left stick, and then you want a QB contain, which is LBL1, and then RBR1, and then you want to kind of come down and just use the safety. Now, I mean, if they try to pass from here, you're going to have to try to manually, like I said, go lurk that corner route. So I'm on Earl Thomas here, and basically, I mean, you just want to try to get in here and just not give them a lot of room to go. You want to limit them to 1 to 2 yards, and that's a huge win versus this run, because this run typically, like, it can get broken for touchdowns for 20, 30, 40 yard, 50 yard runs very consistently. So you just want to be able to limit it, and you can see that you get really good block shedding out of this, because a bear front is meant to stop the run. That's why the bear is good. 3-4 bear, 4-6 bear, they do a good job at stopping the run, at getting good block sheds, at kind of containing things. If you have extra time and you want, you can like bring these cornerbacks down, get them more towards the line of scrimmage to help out. It's not necessary, but if you do have time, I would recommend doing it, because it definitely helps. But again, you know, you just want to try to get in here and you just want to shed, and you can see it bottles it up pretty good. So I did want to make sure that I pointed that out, because I don't want people to say, oh, well, you're just showing this super powerful QB run, but you're not showing a way to stop it. That's how you could contain it. And the 3-4 bear as a whole is, you know, you could run this same setup versus some of these run sets, and they're going to do a good job of containing the run as well. But understand that when people mix the pass in, then it becomes a guessing game, and you have to try to guess right when you're going against these opponents online. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, as always, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.